Get ready for the action, because the Minnesota Timberwolves are facing a formidable challenge in the Western Conference semifinals against the San Antonio Spurs. We dive deep into the preview for this massive matchup, examining the trajectory of the San Antonio Spurs, who have established themselves as a serious contender, boasting a 62-game record and a number 2 seed in the West, setting the stage for an intense showdown against the Timberwolves.
Stop using your finger for notes, sketches, and edits. This Jam Jake stylus pen gives your iPad a smoother, more precise writing feel with palm rejection so your hand can rest naturally on the screen. It charges fast, works for hours, and comes with replacement tips. Perfect for school, work, or creative projects. Check the link in the comments to grab it on Amazon.
Next up, we look at the internal dynamics between the big men, specifically focusing on Victor Wembanyama and Rudy Gobert. We explore the growing mentorship dynamic between the French center and the young star, and what this relationship means for the on-court chemistry and physical battles that will define this series. We also examine the injury concerns surrounding the Timberwolves, particularly Anthony Edwards, and what that means for their chances against the Spurs. We analyze the roster situation, looking at key players like Jaden McDaniels and the potential impact of a healthy Anthony Edwards, and how the Timberwolves' defense stacks up against the Spurs' offensive firepower. Finally, we break down the betting odds and the projections for Game 1 of this semifinal clash. We look at what the channel YouTube projection model is predicting for the total points scored and the spread, helping you figure out which side of the line is most likely to hit. So stick with us until the end for the final verdict. A preview of the upcoming Minnesota Timberwolves versus San Antonio Spurs series highlights the contrasting trajectories of both teams heading into the Western Conference semifinals. The San Antonio Spurs have established themselves as a formidable contender, having secured 62 wins and finishing as the number 2 seed in the West. In contrast, the Minnesota Timberwolves have shown flashes of elite talent, including overcoming injuries to Anthony Edwards and Dante DiVincenzo to defeat the Nuggets in the first round, but have also experienced inconsistent play throughout the season. Looking ahead to the series, the central question is whether Minnesota can replicate their playoff intensity, or if San Antonio's depth and superior standing will prove too much. The series schedule begins on Monday, May 4, with Game 1 broadcast on Peacock, with subsequent games occurring every other day. In terms of individual matchups, Victor Wembanyama has expressed admiration for Rudy Gobert, viewing him as a role model for the care given to the body. However, Gobert acknowledges the differences in their styles, noting that Wembanyama's fluid game, better handles, and three-point shooting create a different dynamic than the physical, grinding style Gobert employs. Gobert is expected to focus on physicality to wear down his mentee, while Wembanyama benefits from the Spurs system that utilizes his gravity as a shooting weapon. Minnesota's potential hinges on several factors. Reports suggest Anthony Edwards may return from a recent knee injury, potentially for Game 3 or 4, though the team remains cautious about his availability. If Edwards is healthy, his driving ability combined with DiVincenzo's shooting could elevate Minnesota's offense. Furthermore, Jaden McDaniels suggests San Antonio is not simply a team of poor defenders, pointing out that Wembanyama is surrounded by quality perimeter defenders. While Minnesota boasts a strong defensive record, San Antonio possesses more shot creators and ball handlers. The outcome of the series will heavily depend on the health and performance of key players, particularly Edwards, as the Timberwolves face a significant challenge against a deep and well-positioned Spurs squad. The highly anticipated NBA Western Conference semifinal matchup between the Minnesota Timberwolves and the San Antonio Spurs is set to begin on Monday night. The 6th-seeded Timberwolves, who secured their spot in the series with a recent 110-98 victory over the Denver Nuggets, face the 2nd-seeded Spurs, who recently defeated the Portland Trail Blazers 114-95. Team statistics provide a mixed outlook. The Timberwolves, currently sitting at 49-33 and third in the Northwest Division, have a challenging road record this season, standing 24-20 on the road, including postseason games. Minnesota will be missing key player Anthony Edwards due to a knee injury. In contrast, the Spurs enter the series with a strong 60-20 record, having won the Southwest Division and boasting a formidable 30-9 record on their home court. The Spurs hold a significant advantage in the series' history, leading the all-time postseason series 6-2, including 5 of the last 6 contests. The game is scheduled to tip off at 9:30 p.m. ET at the Frost Bank Center in San Antonio. Betting lines reflect the Spurs' advantage, positioning them as a 13.5-point favorite in the latest odds from FanDuel Sportsbook. The total points over-under for the contest is set at 217.5. Analyzing the matchup, the channel YouTube projection model has simulated the Timberwolves versus the Spurs 10,000 times to generate insights. The model indicates a prediction that the game will go over on the total point spread. Furthermore, the simulation suggests that one side of the point spread has a nearly 60% probability of hitting. Fans interested in detailed projections are encouraged to consult the model for further analysis on which side of the spread to pursue. The National Basketball Association is set to witness an intense matchup between the Minnesota Timberwolves and the San Antonio Spurs on Monday, May 4, 2026, with the game scheduled to begin at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. This contest promises to be a significant event in the league's schedule, as both teams look to assert their dominance in the current season. Fans and analysts are eagerly anticipating a high-stakes game featuring the dynamic talents of both squads. Further detailed game charts and pre-game analysis are available as the matchup approaches. In NBA action across the league, several key matchups are set to take center stage as teams prepare for crucial second-round series. The Minnesota Timberwolves are facing a challenge in their upcoming Game 1 against the San Antonio Spurs. Live updates, detailed statistics, and play-by-play coverage for this contest are available on Yahoo Sports Australia. Meanwhile, in the Eastern Conference, the Detroit Pistons are slated to host the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Cavaliers enter the series with a strong 52-30 record, currently holding 4th place in the Eastern Conference. The Pistons, meanwhile, are positioned as the first seed with a 60-22 record. The line suggests the Pistons are favored by 3 points, with the over-under set at 213.5 points. This marks the first series matchup in the Eastern Conference second round, following a regular season series tie at 2-2 between Detroit and Cleveland. On the Western Conference side, the Oklahoma City Thunder are set to host the Los Angeles Lakers. The Thunder enter this matchup as the top seed with a dominant 64-18 record, while the Lakers hold a 53-29 record and rank 4th in the Western Conference. The betting line heavily favors Oklahoma City, with a spread of 16 points and an over-under of 213.5 points. This is the Thunder's first series game in the Western Conference second round, coming off a perfect 4-0 regular season record against the Lakers.